Hello. Nigeria's political landscape is rapidly taking shape ahead of the 2027 general election, with major parties conducting primaries, unveiling candidates and positioning themselves for what promises to be one of the most competitive elections in recent history. As political alliances shift and new platforms emerge, voters are closely watching the development that could determine the country's future direction. President Bola Tinubu remains the leading figure of the ruling All Progressive Congress (APC). The party has continued to consolidate its structure across the country while defending its political reforms, security policies, and governance record. APC leaders have expressed confidence that Tinubu's administration will secure another mandate based on ongoing infrastructure projects, economic reforms, and security operations. The party has also largely maintained unity among serving governors, many of whom have successfully secured tickets for re-election. On the opposition front, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has emerged as the presidential candidate of the African Democratic Congress (ADC). Atiku secured a decisive victory during the party's presidential primary, defeating former Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi and economist Mohammed Yahatuddin. Following his victory, Atiku called for unity within the party and appealed to both Amechi and Yahatuddin to join forces with him as the ADC prepares for the national campaign. His emergence signals another major presidential bid from one of Nigeria's most experienced political figures. The ADC, however, faces the immediate challenge of managing internal disagreement following its primary election. Amechi and Yahatuddin raised concerns about the conduct of the process and questioned the credibility of some of the aspects of the exercise. Party leaders have responded by urging aggrieved members to utilize internal mechanism for resolving dispute while emphasizing the need for party unity ahead of the general elections. Another major development is the growing prominence of the Nigerian Democratic Congress (NDC). The party has moved aggressively to establish itself as a significant opposition platform. Former Anambra State Governor Peter Obi is expected to rectify as the party's presidential candidate after emerging as the sole aspirant for the ticket. Party officials have described the process as part of the broader effort to build a national movement focused on governance reforms, economic recovery, and accountability. Within the NDC, several notable political figures have also emerged across different positions. In Rivers State, businessman Alabo Dumo Briggs secured the party's governorship ticket and is expected to challenge APC candidate Kingsley Chinda in the 2027 governorship election. The contest is already attracting attention because of the broadened political tensions involving supporters of Governor Fubara and Federal Capital Territory Minister Nyesom Wike. Rivers State remains one of the most politically significant battlegrounds heading into 2027. Governor Fubara's withdrawal from the APC governorship primary dramatically altered the political landscape. While some analysts believe the governor faces an uncertain political future, others argue that he remains a relevant political figure capable of influencing future development within the state. The ongoing rivalry between political camps aligned with Fubara and Wike continues to shape events in Rivers State politics. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, also remains a major factor despite internal divisions. One faction of the party is moving to rectify former President Goodluck Jonathan as its presidential candidate, although Jonathan has not publicly confirmed whether he will accept the nomination or participate in the race. His possible return has generated significant discussion among supporters and critics alike, particularly given his previous tenure as president and his continued popularity in parts of the country. Beyond the major parties, smaller political groups are also positioning themselves for the election. African Action Congress candidate Omoyele Sowore has continued to campaign on issues of security reform, technology-driven governance, and anti-corruption. He has repeatedly argued for a stronger deployment of modern surveillance technology and intelligence systems in addressing insecurity across the country. Several critical issues are expected to dominate the 2027 election campaign. Security remains a top concern, with ongoing debates over terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, and the role of regional security structures. Economic recovery is also expected to feature prominently as voters assess the impact of fuel subsidy removal, exchange rate reforms, inflation, employment challenges, and infrastructure development. Education, healthcare, power supply, and youth empowerment are also likely to be central campaign themes. Another important factor is Nigerians' long-standing debate over power rotation between the North and South. Some political parties and leaders continue to argue that power should remain in the South beyond 2027, while others believe candidates should be selected solely on competence and electoral strength. This debate is expected to influence political calculations and alliance building in the months ahead. As things stand, the race towards 2027 is still evolving. While several major candidates have emerged, political alliances, defections, court cases, party negotiations could still reshape the landscape before the general election. What remains clear is that Nigerians will be presented with multiple options across different parties, making the coming months crucial for candidates seeking to convince voters that they possess the vision, leadership, policies needed to lead Africa's most populous nation. Thank you for watching. You can follow us on all our social media channels. Have a beautiful one. My name is Emerald Onofi. See you another time.